Good afternoon, fourth grade. We're going to continue reading and Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. You went over chapters 10 and 11 in your guided reading groups. And so we're going to pick up at chapter 12. All right, so get ready to fill in the blank to figure out what's happened so far. While walking in the forest, Minli discovers a dragon that is tied up and crying. She unties him and he explains to her that the greedy monkeys tied him up. The dragon also tells Minli a story about how he came to life from a painting and cannot fly like other dragons. Press pause to write down your answers and play when you're ready for the focus question. It says, what does the goldfish man want to teach Ma and Ba? And how do I summarize a story? And we're going to be working on summarizing a story and guided reading. Our vocabulary words for today are haggard, which is looking exhausted or unwell, worried or tired, vast, and vast is, it means like great. And then, so this mountain would be an example of vast. And then ornate, which means like really decorated, kind of like complex. And so this chandelier is ornate, has a lot of details in the decorations. Let's turn the page. We're going to start reading chapter 12 on page 60. And so open up your book to page 60 and get ready to follow along. And we are going to use our CSPS strategy. I'm at page 60. And we know in the previous chapters that Minli has found a dragon, and while he decided to travel with her, and as they were traveling, she asked him how he was born, and he came to life from a painting. All right, we're at chapter 12. The goldfish man turned around and smiled questioningly at Ma and Ba, who could do nothing but continue to stare. He was slender and small, which was perhaps why it was easy to mistake his footprints for Minli's. The dragging lines Ma thought were from Minli's walking stick led to his cart, and the bowls of goldfish caught the shifting beams from the sun, slivering it into flashes, sparkles of light. The goldfish man's eyes also flashed as he looked at Ma and Ba and their dust-covered clothes and haggard, tired eyes. Let's stop right there. So we already have information about our setting. That was our first sentence. So we're going to get ready to write in box 2. Ma and Ba are in the forest with the goldfish man. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for part 2. And we can use this quote, which is the first sentence. The goldfish man turned around and smiled questioningly at Ma and Ba. That lets us know that Ma and Ba are with the goldfish man in the woods. So write that down in the second part of box 2. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for information about the character. And if we keep reading, we know that Ma and Ba followed footprints that they thought were Minli's, but they were actually the goldfish man's. And so we would underline these two sentences to let us know. And in box 1, we would write, Ma and Ba followed the footsteps that they thought were Minli's and realized that the footprints belonged to the goldfish man instead. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the second part of box 1. And we would write down, you can choose this quote from the middle of the paragraph, or the quote at the end of the paragraph to write in box 1. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. And now we're going to look for the problem. We're at the top of page 61. "Can I help you?" he asked them. "We were looking for our daughter," Boss stammered. "We are from the village of Fruitless Mountain." "You sold her a goldfish, and then," Ma sputtered, "and then she ran away to change her fortune." "I see," the goldfish man said, and again he looked at them, at Ma's tight, angry frown and Bo's careworn, worried face. "And you are going to help stop her?" "Of course," Ba said. "We need to bring her home." "Yes," Ma said, "she is acting crazy. Who knows what could happen to her?" "She could succeed," the goldfish man said steadily. "She could find a way to change her fortune." "She's trying to find Never-Ending Mountain," Ma said. "Ask questions to the old man of the moon. There's no way for her to succeed." "Yes," Ba said, "it's impossible." The goldfish man looked a third time at Ma and Ba, and this time they felt it. Under his gaze, Ma and Ba suddenly felt like freshly peeled oranges, and their words fell away from them. Inexplicably, they felt ashamed. "Let me tell you a story," the goldfish man said. All right, if we look back on this page, we'll notice Ma and Ba's problem. And their problem is that they are looking for Min Li because she ran away, and they are worried that something bad is going to happen to her. And we would underline what Ma and Ba said as they are explaining their problem to the goldfish man. And in box 3, we would write down, "Ma and Ba are looking for Min Li because she ran away to change their fortune, and they are worried that something bad might happen to her." All right, press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. All right, and for the second part of box 3, we would write down this quote. "She's trying to find Never-Ending Mountain," Ma said. "Ask questions to the old man of the moon. There is no way for her to succeed." We would write that down in the second part of box 3. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. All right, we are on page 62. All right, and so we are going to skip the story of the goldfish man because we're going to talk about that in our parallel teaching. So keep turning the page until you get to page 67. And the goldfish man tells Ma and Ba a story that are supposed to teach them a lesson. And as we've been talking about, folk tales teach people lessons. All right, we're going to continue reading on page 67 after the story. "But for Min Li to try to do that is different," Boss started. "She's trying to find Never-Ending Mountain. Ask a question. She's just a small girl." "Perhaps," the goldfish man said, "you need to trust her." "But," Ma said, "but what she wants is impossible." "Impossible," the goldfish man said. "Don't you see? Even fates written in the book of fortune can be changed. How can anything be impossible?" And so we would stop there because the goldfish man is trying to convince Ma and Ba that Min Li will reach her goal. And so we will underline this phrase that the goldfish man said and the next phrase about how nothing is impossible. And we write an S out beside it for the solution. And then we would keep reading. Ma and Ba could find no words. His eyes and the hundreds of eyes of goldfish behind him seemed to silently scold them. As they looked at the ground, the goldfish man shifted back his bag and turned toward his cart. "Here, a gift," the goldfish man said, placing a bowl into Ba's shaking hands. The fish, the pale silver color of the moon, circled in the bowl. "Perhaps, if you cannot trust your daughter will find never-ending mountain, you should trust that she will return home to you, because that is not impossible. So whether Min Li brings it to you or not, I wish you good fortune." And with a bow, the goldfish man walked away. His bowls of goldfish cast pieces of rainbows in the air, making him sparkle in the sun. Ma and Ba stood and watched him until he looked like a twinkling star in the distance. All right, and so in box 4, we would get ready to write that the goldfish man tells Ma and Ba a story, and he encourages them to trust that Min Li will return home to them. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. All right, and we will write down this quote at the top of page 68 that says, "You should trust that she will return home to you, because that is not impossible." All right, press pause to write down the quote and play when you're ready for the paragraph. And our paragraph says, "How do Ma and Ba respond to Min Li's disappearance?" All right, and so you would talk about how they went to look for her and found the goldfish man, and that the goldfish man encouraged them to trust Min Li.